Alright, what's up guys? ColeSlaughter92 here, and today I'm bringing you a gameplay commentary of me playing Sideshow Exo Survival. This was my first attempt at it, and it actually went really well. My PVR messed up quite a bit, but other than that, I did fantastic. For my first time doing it, I felt really accomplished. I really had a lot of fun. This was probably the worst map to do it on, but that's besides the point. I should have done it on Drift though. But today, what we're going to be discussing is the NFL Honor Awards that went on Saturday the 31st, and then we're also going to discuss the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 49 between the Seahawks and the Patriots. So let's go ahead and hop right into it with the yearly awards. And first up, I want to go ahead and start with the Greatness on the Road Award, which is an award presented to players who played outstanding on the road. And this award went over to Tony Romo, the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. As y'all know, I'm not a fan of the Cowboys at all. I hate them. Like, they're my third most hated team out of all the football teams in the NFL. They're near the bottom of my list. But I do respect talent. Tony Romo had a really good year on the road. He went undefeated on the road, didn't have a single loss, which was pretty impressive. So kudos to him. He did really good this year. He was also a contender for the MVP, but we'll get over that. We'll get onto that later. But he was the Greatness on the Road Award winner. So props to you, Tony Romo. And then we have the Bridgestone Performance Play of the Year, and this. Oh my gosh, this play was on throughout the whole award ceremony. It was crazy how many times they played it. My brother, he was so mad. If y'all may recall, I think it was week number 5 for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't remember, but a player named Odell Beckham, he's a rookie. He caught a touchdown pass with one hand, and it wasn't no light lob. It was a sheer bullet, and he caught it with one hand. It was phenomenal. I give him props for that. That was a great catch. I was hoping that J.J. Watt's 80-yard interception touchdown return was going to be it, but that came in as number 3, so it's all right as long as that was in there. Another one that was in there was a punt return that was against Seattle. The St. Louis Rams, one of their players got pretty much a punt return fake, not a punt return fake, but a misdirection. One player signaled that he was going to fair catch it, and then the other player caught it and ran it back for a touchdown. Nobody had any idea what the fuck was going on. It was great. It was a really good play, and props to him for making it in on the number 2 spot. But number 1 went to Odell Beckham for the Bridgestone Performance Play of the Year. So moving on to the NFL Fantasy Player of the Year. Fantasy Football Player of the Year. And I fail so hard right here. The Fantasy Football Player of the Year, this award is presented to the top picked and the top performed player in the NFL in fantasy football. And if you don't know what fantasy football is, guys, it's pretty much creating your own team of players who you think are going to do good, and you score points, etc., etc. Whenever they do good, you get extra points. It's pretty neat. It's pretty innovative. I like it. It's been around for actually quite some time, for quite a few years. But this year it went to Le'Veon Bell of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know I have a Pittsburgh fan out there, so you should be happy with this. He had a really good year. He had over 2,200 yards from scrimmage, which was fantastic. And yeah, it was a really, really impressive year, and I'm glad to see him I'm glad to see him getting that. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Congrats to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Congrats to Le'Veon Bell for that award. So let's go ahead and move on. We have the NFL Assistant Coach of the Year, Todd Boyles, who is now the head coach of the New York Jets, I believe. He got signed to the Jets, which is pretty nifty. They needed a new coach. They needed a lot of stuff done, and I think that that's a good step. That's a great step in reforming your team. So best of luck to you guys, and best of luck to you, Todd Boyles. You had a good season with the Arizona Cardinals. And speaking of the Cardinals, the NFL Coach of the Year, that went to Bruce Arians of the Cardinals as well. Most of y'all are like, well, why didn't Bill Belichick get it? Because he went to the Super Bowl, or Pete Carroll. Well, they were both nominees, as well as Jason Garrett of the Dallas Cowboys, and also what's his name, Bill O'Brien from the Houston Texans. And how it works is it's the most improved team in the NFL and the most consistent team, or just someone who made a complete turnaround on their team. And Mike McCarthy, he's been consistently one of the best well, I wouldn't even go that far. Mike McCarthy of the Green Bay Packers. I don't think he deserved to win it at all. He's probably my least favorite head coach in the NFL. But coaches like Jason Garrett, who turned around their team, finally getting them into the playoffs, having 2 good players and Player of the Year categories, is really phenomenal. Actually 3. He also had a lineman in Rookie of the Year category, and then Houston had one player who was just in every category. So that's really cool, and I'll go over that later. But let's go ahead and move on. Congrats to you, Bruce Arians, for getting that award. It was a really good show. He had a really good speech. It was very motivational, and I have much respect for him. So let's go ahead and go over to the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. This is the most prestigious award of the year, in my opinion, because it not only is for your outstanding plays on the field, but also how you are off the field. It goes to people who are outstanding citizens, who are involved in community service, charity services, and everything like that. And the contenders this year, one of them was Anquan Boldin from the San Francisco 49ers, and one of them was Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers, and Thomas Davis of the Carolina Panthers. Each of them had spectacular stories behind them as to why they deserved it the most. But the one who deserved it the most, in my opinion, and also in the NFL's opinion, was Thomas Davis. He pretty much opened up his own little school for kids to help them go through life, teach them life lessons, teach them how to not be insecure and all that good shit. And you know, I was really proud of him. He also on Christmas, he had his own little Christmas drive. He paid for everything, and he has his own summer camp as well, where he teaches 250 boys and girls about football and about how to be self-confident, which is amazing. And his speech was just amazing, and he's an inspiration. So congratulations to you, Thomas Davis. If somehow you see this, I'd like to thank you for being an outstanding player. And also, he made it known to the other players in the NFL that they should step up as well and help give back to the people who give them so much. The only reason that they play is because we want to see them play, and without them, you kind of and without the fans, sort of like what goes on with me. If I don't have my fans, I don't really have a reason to post, because I enjoy giving y'all stuff to watch, entertaining you guys, not just entertaining myself. I mean, being able to do this is a really fun hobby. Just like when I played football, it was a really fun hobby, but what made it better was when you're able to entertain others and able to help others as well. And, you know, that's just my opinion. So, moving along before I get all sappy and shit, we have the Comeback Player of the Year. And this award is given to players who went a long time without playing in the NFL, whether it's because of injuries or because they took a leave of absence, or they got suspended for some odd reason. And this year, it was between, I can't even remember their names, but the winner this year was Rob Gronkowski. And for those of you who don't know who Rob Gronkowski is, he's one of the most dominant tight ends in the NFL. And he pretty much came back from a very severe injury, and he just dominated. If it wasn't for him, the Patriots wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl, and they wouldn't have had nearly as good a season. So, congrats to you, Rob Gronk. You deserved it, man. I actually, when I saw that award come up, I was like, that's Gronk, definitely. Even if he's not nominated, that's Gronk. But moving along, guys, let's go on to the Defensive Rookie of the Year, and it was a defensive tackle from St. Louis, actually, Aaron Donald. He had a very good year. He had, I think, 13 sacks. I'm not too sure, but it was very impressive. So kudos to him. I think that's the only Ram who actually won anything. Only 2 Rams were nominated for anything, and he's the only one who won. So congratulations to you. And Rams had to take something, right? They couldn't take a good season, so they got this instead. It's something. But moving along, let's go ahead and go over to the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And this goes to the best performing player on the offensive side. And this year there was a lot, and I mean a lot of talent. We had the right or left tackle from Dallas, can't remember his name, and then we have Mike Evans from the Buccaneers. He caught over 1,600 yards, which was amazing for a rookie. I think it was second only to Randy Moss. I'm not too sure, guys. Don't quote me on that. But he had a spectacular rookie year. But he was not the winner. The winner was Odell Beckham, who only played 13 games, but he got 1,300 yards receiving and 13 touchdowns. That's unheard of. That's a really good season, and I give him props. And Odell Beckham, if y'all might recall, was also the player who caught that one-handed touchdown pass. And he just straight up controlled it. I see him being a very big target for Eli Manning next year and for a few years to come. Or until Eli decides to hang up the reins. But congratulations to you, man. I really think you deserved it. I didn't see a single wide receiver who deserved it more than you. Only played 13 games and did that. It was the only wide receiver on the New York Giants who actually was able to catch a pass. And he's the only person who was helping out Eli Manning. So hopefully he does just as good next year. He was very impressive this year, and I wish him the best of luck. So with that being said, let's go on up to the Defensive Player of the Year, which got me so excited because this was the first time that it was a unanimous decision. And for those of you who don't know what unanimous decision is, it's where there's the census mostly votes for one person. It's not really a competition between between 3 people. It's when one person dominates all of them. And if y'all watched the NFL this year, every week there was a headline featuring this guy's name, and he's from Houston. He's J.J. Watt, the best player in the NFL in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because he's not only a good defensive player, he's a great defensive player, obviously. He won Defensive Player of the Year. There was no contest. There were no runners-up or anything. It was crazy. But he won downright. No competition whatsoever. And I was so happy. Like, as soon as they even said Defensive Player of the Year, I knew it was going to be J.J. Watt. No one had as disruptive of a season as him. He deflected so many passes, caused so many fumbles, got 20.5 sacks this season, tied the Houston Texans record for most sacks in a season, which he set last year with 20.5 when he won Defensive Player of the Year as well. So it's kind of a given that he's going to get it. And he had 3 defensive touchdowns and 5 offensive touchdowns. But that's an argument that I'm going to have in a little bit. So congrats, JJ. Really happy for you, man. And I'm glad that Houston got to take home another Defensive Player of the Year award. The last person other than J.J. Watt to do it was DeMeco Ryans back in 2005. So it's refreshing to see another defensive player win it for Houston. So moving on, we have the Offensive Player of the Year. And this actually, J.J. Watt gave this award out. And I think, no, it was Offensive Rookie of the Year he gave it out to. But Offensive Player of the Year, it went to a very deserving player, the most exciting player to watch on the Dallas Cowboys, DeMarco Murray. Now, those of you who are like, what? I thought you didn't like the Cowboys. I don't. I really don't. But I like DeMarco Murray. That guy is a very entertaining runner. If you ever get a chance to watch a game and he's playing, stick around because he makes miracles happen. He's a really fantastic running back. He's better than Marshawn Lynch. The only running back who's probably better than him is either Arian Foster or Adrian Peterson. We'll just have to see about Adrian Peterson next year. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see AP back on the Vikings lineup, so that's exciting. I'm really hyped about that. But congratulations to DeMarco Murray for winning that award. So the Cowboys got 2 awards this year, so good for them, fuckers. That's not hatred, not at all. But moving on, guys. Oh, also, DeMarco Murray. He broke Emmitt Smith's record this year for rushing yards in a single season, and he also eclipsed 13 rushing touchdowns, which was really phenomenal. So once again, congrats. And then we go to the MVP, the award you guys have been waiting for, and this caused a lot of controversy in my household. This really did. The candidates were J.J. Watt, Tony Romo, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. J.J. Watt was the only defensive player elected for the MVP. Defensive players typically don't get elected for this. And the fact that he was nominated was proof that he's a fantastic player. But he also just straight up deserved it. I mean, he's one of the hardest playing defensive linemen in the NFL. Well, players in the NFL in general. He's one of the toughest guys in the NFL. You break his nose, he plays with a bloody nose. It's simple as that. You hurt him, he hurts you back even more. And he also is really good on offense. He makes spectacular catches. He scored, I think, 5 touchdown receptions this year. I believe it was 5. And he just had an overall fantastic season. And honestly, I don't see how any other player did better than him. Not even Drew Brees. And Drew Brees, I feel like, should have been an option for this. The only reason he wasn't is because he threw too many interceptions, and also because his team didn't make the playoffs, which is totally fucking biased. But, let's go on over to candidate number 2, Aaron Rodgers. He had a pretty good year, 4,300 yards, 38 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Impressive, 7-to-1 interception to touchdown ratio. Well, touchdown to interception ratio. That's not bad at all. That's really good. And also his team went over to the NFC Championship, but that does not give him an entitlement to winning the NFL MVP. That's been done before. Drew Brees did that a few years back and didn't get an MVP. And he threw for over 4,500 yards. And the MVP went over to Peyton Manning. And then it also happened with Phillip Rivers a few years back. He threw for 30-some-odd touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, didn't get MVP. So I don't feel like he should have even been a contender. I feel like it should have been Drew Brees. But enough of that rant. Let's go on over to Tony Romo. Why he was a candidate. He threw for over 30 touchdowns, only threw 8 or 9 interceptions. Led his team to a divisional match in the playoffs. The first time they ever went past round 1 in the playoffs in several years. And also, he had the highest completion percentage out of everyone in the NFL. And also eclipsed 4,500 passing yards and broke Troy Aikman's passing yards in a single season record. And he just had an overall good season. He was a very accurate quarterback, and he didn't throw very many touchdowns, but he didn't win because he doesn't have a Green Bay Packer jersey on. And because he doesn't have a discount double chip. But Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wound up winning the MVP award. And me and my brother, as soon as we heard it, we both said, "What?" I was so mad. Y'all have no idea. He does not deserve it. He wasn't even in the Super Bowl. And he played like shit in the NFC Championship. He just played like total shit. So, in my mind, he doesn't deserve it. He really didn't. That's a given. I don't agree with that at all. I think it should have either been JJ or Tony Romo. I would have been happier if Tony Romo had won it. Well, I wouldn't say happier. I wouldn't have been so pissed. I'm still pretty salty about it, guys. But that's that. That's the recap on what happened on the NFL honors. Also, if you're a San Diego Charger fan, you might want to know this. Junior Seau was inducted into the Hall of Fame. The late, great Junior Seau. May he rest in peace. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame after only 5 years of retirement. He played 20 years in the NFL, and he went to the Pro Bowl 14 of those years. So, congratulations to Junior Seau. May he rest in peace, and it's crazy. His kids look just like him. And I know that your family's proud of you. We're all proud of you. Congrats, man. But once again, enough of the sappy shit, guys. And I hope y'all are enjoying the gameplay. I know that I chopped it up quite a bit. I'm pretty sure I chopped it up quite a bit anyway, to the most action-packed parts. The whole thing was fucking hectic, but I'll probably just skip like the parts where it was at an intermission or some shit. But let's go ahead and move on to the Super Bowl recap, guys. I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet, but I got no guarantees for you. So with the Super Bowl, we had New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. Now, if y'all may recall, I predicted the New England Patriots to win by 10 points. which, I'll be honest, it didn't happen. They didn't win by 10 points. But let's go ahead and start with a recap on the New England Patriots side. So to start off the game, Tom Brady, he marched his team down. Actually, no. First drive, they got one first down, and then they stalled to a 3-and-out. And then on the second drive that they had, he went and threw an interception near the goal line. And then a very key thing happened while the guy was returning, while Lane was returning the interception. He got hit by Julian Edelman and fucked up his knee, and he was out for the rest of the game. So the Seahawks were having to play with his backup, and his backup was a rookie, a very inexperienced small rookie, and also Richard Sherman, he was hurt. What's that other player? Number 31. He was hurt. His knee was messed up. Richard Sherman had a torn ligament in his arm, and also Earl Thomas was injured as well. So they were just playing with very little depth in their defense, but they still put up a hell of a fight. They still did really good. Props to them for doing as good as they did. They gave me the most entertaining Super Bowl I have ever seen, and that's saying a lot. Because I saw the fucking Steelers and Arizona Cardinals with Kurt Warner, and that was a really crazy game. If Santonio Holmes didn't catch that pass, that would have been a win. Actually, was that against? I think that was against the Cardinals. Wasn't that against the Cardinals? Look, Steeler fan, I know you're watching this. Well, if you are watching this, tell me if that was the game where Santonio Holmes caught that pass in the end zone by his tippy toes. But let's move on. So the Seattle Seahawks, they were stalled for quite some time, and what's his name? Russell Wilson didn't throw a single completion until there was only 5 minutes left in the first half, which was insane. He wasn't having the best first half or first quarter. He didn't complete a single pass in the first quarter. It was the second longest drought in NFL history in the Super Bowl. But eventually, when he did complete his first pass, the second pass he threw was a touchdown. So, congrats to him, I guess. But it was crazy. Right after he completed his pass, he went and threw a touchdown. And then we go on to the Patriots next. The Patriots, a few drives down the line, it was either the next drive or a few drives down the line, they score another touchdown. Actually, it was right after the 2-minute. No, was it right after or right before? Right before the 2-minute warning. Right after the 2-minute warning, they scored another touchdown. And then the Seattle Seahawks actually responded with a touchdown of their own, with only 31 seconds left on the clock for the first half. They go and march down for a touchdown, which was very impressive. It only took 5 plays. It was insane. It was really, really crazy. And then we go on to the halftime show. This is going to be a rant. I'm going to go on a rant right here because it was the worst halftime show I ever saw in my life. And Katy Perry, oh my god. The facepalm is so hard. It was such a bad performance. What the fuck even was that? But it was a shit show. I did not enjoy it at all. I mean, Lenny Kravitz kind of sort of saved it when he came on when she was singing "I Kissed the Girl and I Liked It." He kind of saved it because he came on and did a nice guitar part, and it made it kind of bearable, not 100% bearable. It was still shitty. But if it wasn't for him, it would have been a complete disaster, in my opinion. If you guys are Katy Perry fans, get off my channel. Leave right now. This is not a channel for Katy Perry fans at all. Not at all. But she had her little performance, and then someone else who saved it is a hip-hop icon and legend, Missy Elliott. And my mom, she used to listen to her music all the time when I was little, so I'm very familiar with Missy Elliott. My brother also really liked Missy Elliott growing up. And she's a very entertaining a hip-hop artist, because she's a very good showman. Katy Perry, on the other hand, is not. She's fucking terrible. She is trash. Yeah, it was just so boring, but Missy Elliott came out and played a bunch of her songs. Katy Perry tried to do duets with her, and it just wasn't working. I don't care. I don't care what you say. It was terrible. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. It was awful. The worst halftime show I've ever seen. Ever since Eminem ripped Janet Jackson's boob out on stage. Well, not ripped it out, but ripped her shirt off and showed off that titty. Hasn't been the same. It's like they won't have anyone who doesn't have viewer discretion. So, yeah, no me gusta. But after the halftime show, the Seattle Seahawks wound up getting the ball back, and they scored on the opening drive, I think. Either 3 and out or scored, I don't remember. But they wound up going up by 10 points. They scored a touchdown and then a field goal, I believe was the order. So they were leading 24-14. And then this is when shit gets interesting. And the reason they got up by that big a lead, Tom Brady threw another interception. Surprise, surprise. It was actually surprising because he's only thrown 2 interceptions in each of the 4 Super Bowls combined. No, each of the 5 Super Bowls combined prior to that one. So he threw 2 interceptions in this one Super Bowl. And neither of them were by Richard Sherman, if you're curious. He didn't make any big plays at all. He was pretty much useless. But the player who finally got shit started for the New England Patriots was actually Vereen, the running back Vereen. Now, I know I said LeGarrette Blount would be the reason that they're going to win. He wasn't even a factor. He didn't get enough attempts running because they fell behind. And it's kind of a shame. I was hoping to see him really perform, but it's alright. He'll get another chance next year to prove that he deserves to be there, and that he's as good as anyone else, if not better than most of the players in the NFL. So, the Patriots, they wound up rallying behind Vereen and Gronkowski. He made a really huge catch that really saved everything, and it was just fantastic, as well as Julian Edelman. Everybody started performing, and the defense started stopping Russell Wilson. He was running and throwing, and Marshawn Lynch was running the ball like crazy. It was just a total shit show on the defense's part, but then they finally buckled down and started stopping him, and Tom Brady was finally able to get into a groove. And then freaking Tom Brady, he threw another touchdown, which broke Joe Montana's record of 11 touchdowns in the Super Bowls for a career. And Tom Brady now has that record with 14 because he threw two touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and it was just crazy. And on the after. It was right before the 2-minute warning when he threw the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter when he threw another touchdown. So he had 4 touchdowns, and with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left on the clock, the Seattle Seahawks got the ball back, and they were marching. Freaking Russell Wilson threw up a pass, and a rookie, can't remember his name right now for some reason. I think his last name might have actually been Russell. I actually don't know right now, but he was defending the pass, and he swatted it away, but the ball bounced off of Kirk's leg, and he grabbed the ball, and they were all the way down at the 6-yard line with about a minute left to go, and then they ran the ball with Marshawn Lynch, and he got it all the way down to the 2-yard line, and then so they were going for the score because a touchdown was the only thing you could go for. So I don't know what possessed Pete Carroll to do this, but instead of calling a run with the most dynamic running back in the NFL, he goes and calls a pass play. He gets Russell Wilson to throw the ball with 30 seconds left on the clock, and he throws an interception to the guy who just allowed the catch to Curse. I could have sworn his last name was Russell. I could be wrong. But he wound up intercepting the ball at the 2-yard line, and it was so crazy. It was crazy. And then a penalty for shit. Sorry guys, I'm like talking right after the game. It's actually quite late right now, but he wound up getting a penalty for excessive celebration, so they were put all the way down to the 1-yard line. It was half the distance to the goal, so they were at the 1-yard line. And Tom Brady wound up making their defense jump off sides and got encroachment on them. And so they wound up getting 5 yards out of it. And then a fight broke out. A fight. The Seattle Seahawks defense started a fight, and it was just chaos. It was just chaos. It got pretty hectic. But the Patriots wound up just taking a knee and ending it there. And the final score was 28-24. Very entertaining football game. If they have it on YouTube or something, go ahead and watch it. I really suggest it. It was an amazing game. I would love to rewatch it if I could. But that's pretty much it. Oh, and the MVP of the Super Bowl was Tom Brady. He threw for over 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he also had, I think he threw over 50 passes and completed 40 of them, I believe. I'm not too sure. I don't remember. And Julian Edelman caught 11 catches for over 120 yards. So he had a really good game. But that's it for the NFL recap. That's it for the Super Bowl recap and the NFL Honor recap. I hope y'all enjoyed. And I hope y'all have enjoyed the gameplay in the background. I'm sorry that this took so long. But for those of you who stuck around, thanks guys. It really means a lot. And if you're a Patriots fan, congrats. If you're not, oh well. Better luck to your team next year. If you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, you almost had it, guys. Y'all should be proud that y'all just went. At least y'all made it. So many teams didn't get to make it, so y'all should be glad that y'all did. And that's going to do it for me today, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, don't forget to smack that like button, comment telling me what you thought. and anything that has any relevance to this commentary, who you think should have won a specific honor, who shouldn't have won an honor, who shouldn't have won an award. Leave that in the comment section, because I'm very interested on y'all's opinions in these matters. And also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at ColeSlaughter92, and also don't forget to share this video on social media such as Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, any social media like that. Even Instagram, guys, if y'all want. I mean, I'm not saying to, because that's just a discredit to anyone. And also subscribe if I didn't mention that. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. And this is ColeSlaughter92, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!